This looks much more like the team that made the Western Conference Finals a season ago. We had 6 games in the NBA on a Wednesday night to go through, and we start in LA where the Timberwolves are starting to find their footing. Clippers have been playing some great basketball, winners of 9 in a row at home, but tonight, Minnesota rediscovering their defensive identity early and often. Rudy Gobert doing his thing on the defensive end, Julius Randle setting the tone on the offensive end. Clippers came into this game with no Norman Powell on the second night of a back-to-back. The Clippers lost to the Wolves last week. Harden with the early assist, but he was struggling from the field tonight. Anthony Edwards putting Minnesota up 10. These are the types of sequences that we were so used to with Minnesota last season. Naz Reid with a big block on one end, on the other, Julius Randle to the rim. Wolves cruising in the first quarter. Here they go again with extra effort plays. Josh Minott getting an opportunity, offensive board. That leads to a 3 for DiVincenzo. Moments later, Randle having himself a night. I mean, you typically don't see the Clippers lose like this at home, especially not recently, but the Wolves were destroying them. Minnesota up by 24 early in the second. There's the youngster Josh Minott again. Just a sloppy overall game from the Clippers. Harden a turnover, Ant-Man the other way, finding Nickeil Alexander-Walker for 3. Defense from Minnesota in the second half. Edwards the takeaway. They're out and running on the break, and he gives it up to McDaniels. With this win, the Wolves back over 500, and Edwards and company were having a blast tonight. Chemistry seems to be getting better too. Julius Randle with a hilarious response here to the Clippers' wall. Meanwhile, in Milwaukee, 2 of the hottest teams in the East doing battle. The Bucks have won 7 in a row. Things just seem to be going Milwaukee's way right now. Brook Lopez the crazy save, Giannis the oop. End of the first quarter, quietly though on the other end, their opponent Atlanta had won 4 in a row, including some great wins over Cleveland. Steal there in a slam, moments later another steal, they're out and running, and Okongwu's got a layup and the foul. Atlanta continuing to charge ahead in the second quarter. Ricochet with a 3, now here comes Trae Young in transition with a float game over Giannis. In the first half, here come the Hawks again. I heard the Falcons might need a quarterback. Capella to Johnson. Third quarter, and let's not forget, this is an Atlanta team with a lot of impressive early season wins already. And it's no coincidence that this recent win streak coincides with Jalen Johnson's ascension. Johnson having himself another great game, so was DeAndre Hunter once again bringing that spark off the Hawks bench. Fourth quarter, more from Johnson in transition. No numbers for the Hawks. He doesn't care. He goes coast to coast. Atlanta up by 12, 2.5 minutes to go. There is Hunter once again and 1. Now with under a minute to go, this was just unnecessary and cruel from Jalen Johnson. My goodness. Atlanta snaps the Bucks win streak, and now the Hawks have 5 in a row of their own, and their next matchup is against the Lakers in Atlanta. This week we had a lot of talk about the under 25 list. Well, what about Jalen Johnson? 23, 13, 5, and 2 steals tonight to lead the way for the Hawks. He's only 22 years old. Miami today, I made a full recap of this game on my page if you want to check it out. One of the most embarrassing performances you will see from the Lakers maybe ever. Their defensive effort was an abomination. Anthony Davis, 8 points. Are you serious? Shout out to Tyler Hero, though, who had a great night. The Heat get back to 500. Boston tonight, it's the Pistons and the Celtics, and no Jason Tatum for Boston. You know what the deal is with this team. Even without Tatum, they have so much firepower. Pistons lost yesterday to Milwaukee. Now today, second night of a back-to-back for them, and they're off to a tough start on the road. It literally feels like you blink against these Celtics and you're down by 20. Jaylen Brown with the and 1, but now signs of life from Detroit. Oh my goodness, Cade Cunningham put Derek White on a poster. Now final stages of the first quarter, Jaylen Brown getting some revenge for his teammate. Celtics up by 10 in the second, it's Porzingis' turn. And now they're doing it on the defensive end of the floor, Al Horford. Horford with the block, now Brown finding him, roaming the baseline for 3. As we've seen so often this season, they did it by committee. Kornet with the defense leading to this from Sam Hauser. Hauser was having himself a ball game in this one. Celtics roll. Even without Tatum, the Celtics roll at home. Look at the balance offensively. Brown with 28, 9, and 6. Porzingis looking good since he came back from injury. Now we got Philly hosting Orlando today, and Philly coming off back-to-back road wins, doing it on the defensive end early. Orlando, meanwhile, coming off their worst loss in a while, getting blown out in New York City. Now they're doing it on the defensive end. Jalen Suggs the takeaway, and now it's Franz Wagner with a slam. Magic up by 7 late in the first, their defense continuing to do its thing. Jonathan Isaac with a massive block on the other end, Suggs corner pocket. Philly down by 7 late in the first half, needing a spark, and here comes Mr. TikToker. Remember, the Sixers did not have Paul George today, so they needed more from the rookie. Third quarter now and more from the Magic. What a pass by Jalen Suggs to Franz Wagner. Sixers up by 1 midway through the third. McCain going right at KCP. Final seconds of the third. Sixers down by 3. There he is again. Pump fake McCain, another one. 6-point Magic lead. 9.5 minutes to go in the fourth, and the wrong guy to leave open right here. Philly down by 10, 4 minutes to go, and here comes McCain again, pulling up for 3. Sixers cut it all the way down to 1 with 1:10 to go, but a defensive breakdown. Down by 3, 8 seconds to go, one final chance. Maxey throws up the running 3, no good. The Magic escape, and yet another great game from what should be the All-Star. 35 for Franz.
Having the MVP conversation, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's great, but I'm one of those guys before the game.
Sixers couldn't get the job done, but McCain did his thing. 24 more points for the Rook. Last but not least, Nets and Pacers. If you would have told me before the season that these teams would have the same record, we're a quarter of the way through the season, I would not have believed you. They both come in at 9-13. Pacers off to another slow start in this one. They lost yesterday to Toronto. How about that pass from Ben Simmons? I mean, what is up with this team? Everybody wants to just say it's Tyrese Halliburton. But there is a lot more issues to this team than just Tyrese. Down by 14, early stages of the third. Schroeder to Nick Claxton. Other end of the floor, Johnny Furphy, the rookie, hitting a 3, but look at their points. This is the Pacers team that last season was putting up historic offensive numbers. Fourth quarter now, Pacers down by 4. They're desperate for a road win. Pascal Siakam in the mid-post cuts it to 2. But once again in the fourth quarter, there's just no resistance from this Pacers defense. And now here they go again. A turnover leading to this from Shake and Bake Milton. Next possession, check out the save by Watford. Another Pacers turnover and more points in transition for the Nets. And once again today, behind 26 points from Cam Johnson, the Nets get another victory. And for this Pacers team, just another night of disappointment. Do they need to change things up with a trade? After that Eastern Conference Finals run last season, to go 9-14 to start this season, not looking good in Indiana.